They said it was a conspiracy theory. They called us crazy. They banned us from social media for even suggesting it. But tonight, the conspiracy has become confession. 20 federal agents just broke their silence about the biggest political crime in American history. Now, these aren't anonymous sources or leaked memos. These are FBI and CIA personnel putting their careers and lives on the line to expose what Barack Obama and John Brennan really did. The Russia hoax wasn't just fake news. It was a deliberate intelligence operation to overthrow a sitting president. Now the rats are jumping ship. Lawyers are being hired and indictments are being prepared. You're about to see will change everything, so stay right there. Now, you probably think your 401k is safe, but it wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift retirement costs and risk onto you, leaving your savings exposed to crashes, inflation, and chaos. But Americans are waking up and taking control of real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands secure their future by converting part of their 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. It's safe, it's simple, and it's smart. Visit nextnewsgold.com to get your free protection kit and discover how to safeguard your savings. Open a qualified account today and receive 2 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins free. That's nextnewsgold.com, your exit from the danger zone. You can call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. And when you talk to Colin, tell him Gary said hi, would you please? All right. So we do have some breaking video that just came in. This is the former president.
The SUV, the first
former president getting arrested.
And now we see the SUVs here pulling up Anderson. And they are pulling up here now to the door.
Can you guys stand back?
And we see several of the SUVs, Anderson, pulling up to the corner. And the former president, Donald Trump, is about to step out of this SUV and enter the Manhattan DA's office, where he will be placed under arrest. And here.
Okay, so why do I show this video? Why do I show this video? We all remember it all too well. Because when you mess with the bull, you get the frickin' horns. You see what this video represents precedent. Precedent. Okay? When the left decided to attack Donald Trump, to arrest him multiple times on fake charges, oh, this is what we got. But guess what? They have now laid the tracks, and the Trump train is going to drive right through Obama's mansion. And they're going to pull him out, and they're going to make him do a frickin' perp walk, and we're going to get mug shots of Obama, Brennan, Comey, Clapper, and the whole for treason. That's what's on the line here. So when someone says, well, they've never arrested a former president before, well, guess what? We have 2 instances right here on screen. They arrested Donald J. Trump, New York and in Georgia. Remember? You'll never forget it. So the precedent has been set. And now people are talking. I also have some good news. The View is taking a break.
The monster. And before we go on hiatus, we only have one more show after this. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Too late now.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Before we go, I wanted to tell people that the tide is turning and things are changing. I mean, the ultimate irony would be that Rupert Murdoch will take him down.
Yeah.
Fox News, who created the monster, will take him down.
Looks like The View is taking a little break. Let's just hope it's a permanent break. First Stephen Colbert, and now The View. And we have to congratulate our Employee of the Month, Tulsi Gabbard. Yes, definitely the July 2025 administration Employee of the Month. Okay, so we got this just 7 hours ago. 20 CIA and FBI agents have blown the whistle, confirming that Barack Obama and his chief of staff, CIA Director John Brennan, created the false Russia hoax, doctored intelligence to overthrow a duly elected president of the United States in 2016. Let's see what Devin Nunes is saying here.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely.
Okay, so what I think we're seeing here, this is the original, this is the first Trump administration, Devin Nunes making the announcement when he was a member of Congress. He works for President Trump in a private capacity now on his Truth Social campaign, Truth Social site. But this is the moment he's announcing.
Widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of the Trump team.
So that was during the initial announcements that we all heard that they're spying on his campaign, Devin Nunes confirming it. Here we have now Tulsi Gabbard doubling down on exposing Hillary Clinton on Charlie Kirk's show.
One of the most significant pieces of evidence that was revealed in that report we released yesterday is the fact that Russia claimed to have very, very damaging information, high-level DNC emails relating specifically to Hillary Clinton's physical and mental health, and DNC leaders questioning whether or not, if elected, she would even be capable of carrying out the duties of the presidency. Russia had this. If they wanted to swing the election for Donald Trump, they would have released it in September, October of 2016 at a pivotal time to swing momentum into Donald Trump's direction and damage Hillary Clinton's campaign. They did not do that deliberately. They understood that Hillary Clinton would likely be the inevitable president of the United States. They didn't think Trump could win, like a lot of other people. And so they were withholding this information about Hillary Clinton and planning to release it in the days or weeks leading up to her expected inauguration, in order to once again sow chaos within the United States, to draw one of the most significant.
So if the Russians had information during the election, they could have done it, but they didn't. Now, if you hadn't heard about this, Judge Janine Piro has been appointed to the D.C. Attorney General's role. Listen to this.
Well, here's an interesting little twist that I bet no one is thinking about regarding the new criminal referrals that just came across DOJ regarding the Obama-era officials. Obama, Clapper, Brennan, Susan Rice, etc. 2 months ago, President Donald Trump appointed Judge Janine Piro as U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. Now, Judge Janine has an impeccable record in New York State, not only as a prosecutor, but as a judge. And she and Donald Trump go way back. They're friends, and he trusts her. Now, the U.S. General in Washington, D.C. is a very powerful position. It has a dual role. So not only does it oversee local crimes in Washington, D.C., but it also oversees federal crimes that might have happened in Washington, D.C., i.e. politicians, intelligence officials, etc. So this puts Judge Janine Piro in the direct line of indictments should they come down. I find that extremely interesting.
I'll take that for sure. Judge Janine Piro. That's why they're trying to get her out. Here is Donald Trump Jr. just about 24 hours ago. So great to see DNI Gabbert taking it to the entire deep state like this. We all know the Russia hoax was nothing more than a deep state conspiracy against my father, and Obama knew it all along. Let's hear what she's saying to Laura Trump.
He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we last week, and the documents that we will be releasing later this week, that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled president's daily brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council. And President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So the thing that I think people should pay attention to is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media. None of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election. That
Yes, Barack Obama at the center of it all. And now we're learning that James Clapper just lawyered up. They write that if James Clapper, who just lawyered up, says he's worried he'll face prosecution, you can bet your leftover meatloaf sandwich that Obama, Yates, Brennan, Page, Strzok, Comey, Hillary, and the solid gold fake dossier dancers are freaking TF out too. The walls are closing in. Here's more from Tulsi with Charlie Kirk.
When we look at our democratic republic, Charlie, our system is built on the foundation of the American people casting our votes for who they want to be in office, to be our president and commander in chief. In this system, there is to be a peaceful transition of power. What we saw play out here was President Trump was elected by the American people in 2016, shocked most people in the United States, and apparently even Russia and Putin didn't think that he would win. Instead of accepting that this is the will of the people, what we saw is President Obama convening his national security team and concocting this contrived false narrative through the production of this intelligence community assessment in January 2017 with the specific intent of subverting the will of the American people and trying to delegitimize President's election and therefore everything that he had been charged to do by the American people over the next 4 years. So, yes, this is a treasonous conspiracy that subverts the American people because you look at the action. They manufactured a hoax. They manufactured these lies, published it as though it were true, propagated this through the media to the American people. And then what happened next? The Mueller investigation, years-long Mueller investigation launched. You had 2 impeachments coming from Congress. You had a raid on President Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago by the FBI. You had smears and attacks and investigations not only against President Trump, but against his family, his senior officials within his administration.
You know what I'd like to see next? I want to see, maybe this is part of the reason Obama's started this whole thing. Maybe he knew. Maybe it was, the whole birth certificate thing, that perhaps Donald Trump would find out he wasn't actually an American citizen. Let's unseal Barack Obama's record next. Can we do that? Here's Senator John Cornyn. Lindsey Graham and I are urging AG Pam Bondi to appoint a special counsel to investigate the extent of which former President Obama, his staff, and administration officials manipulated the U.S. national security apparatus during Russiagate. Now, people are critical. Hans Mankel says every single special counsel has served only one purpose, which is to stymie real investigations and run out the clock. The fact that Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn are now calling for one only drives that point home. Unless it's Ed Martin, better not have one at all. Here is the moment that Lindsey Graham posted on X. For the good of the country, Senator John Cornyn and I urge Attorney General Bondi to appoint a special counsel to investigate Obama. Lindsey Graham, flashback. Lindsey Graham told John McCain to take the dossier to the FBI. Lindsey Graham played a role in Obama and Hillary's scheme. Of course, he's calling for a special counsel to investigate now, which would be used to cover up and stop the release of damaging documents. They're calling him a traitor. We're going to need a bigger hoax. Yes, we will. The deep state is panicking, now attempting to undermine the Obamagate story with more unverified and anonymously sourced hit pieces from the Wall Street Journal against Trump. That means we're over the target. Out.
White House that we do have some new reporting into CNN, and this is it's a story from the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that in May, Attorney General Pam Bondi and her deputy informed the president at a meeting in the White House that his name was in the Epstein files. This is reporting now in the Wall Street Journal. We should know that CNN has not independently confirmed that information.
Yes, very important. And in which context, right? That's really the question.
Exactly. In what context did his name come up in those files?
That's right. They were friends and friends for years. The president obviously has a timeline about when he stopped associating with Epstein. But this is obviously a big story from the Wall Street Journal that they are reporting that Trump was told his name was in the Epstein files. But let's just go through quick, because this is a deluge of information right now about what is happening regarding the Epstein files. A judge has declined to release grand jury documents from the criminal probe into Epstein. You have the House Oversight Committee subpoenaing Ghislaine Maxwell for a deposition. And you also have a House Oversight Subcommittee, Democrats on that committee, very possibly close to succeeding in forcing a subpoena on the Epstein files. And that's
Republican votes. I mean,
that's right. That's how they would do it. That's the only way they could do it.
So, as you know, the Wall Street Journal now being sued by President Trump, but they are not stopping in their efforts to undermine the American people. Let's continue. We have this now. Wall Street apes writing, Barack Obama is so effed. 20 CIA and FBI agents have now confirmed Barack Obama worked with our old CIA director to create the fake Russia hoax and then locked it away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Again, 20 CIA and FBI agents now confirm this. Listen.
Irrefutable evidence.
Fox News alert, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team direct creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing. And only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true. There was no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations. Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources, didn't corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and used anonymous internet postings.
Oh, anonymous posting. Love it. Yeah, use that as your source. Real credible. But now we're learning this. Here's from General Mike Flynn. Dear Jim, the intelligence report that you refer to was scrutinized after it was used to undermine a duly elected president. Gosh dang it, my old friend, don't play the dummy anymore. You knew the intel report was fabricated, a fabricated POS from the start, yet you allowed Barack Obama and Brennan and Coney to convince you to go along with it. I'm sorry that you need to lawyer up. My strongest recommendation is to come clean and tell the truth. And what happened here? Did we lose? That's weird. Okay, just edited in with Mike Flynn. And now we have this from General Mike Flynn. Dear Jen, the intelligence report that you referred to was scrutinized after it was used to undermine a duly elected president. Gosh dang it, my old friend, don't play the dummy anymore. You knew the intel report was a fabricated POS from the start, yet you allowed Barack Obama and John Brennan and Comey to convince you to go along with it. I'm sorry you need to lawyer up. My strongest recommendation is to come clean, cut a deal, and tell the truth. Otherwise, you're in some very legal hot water. Here he is, former Director of National Intelligence. That's, of course, the role that Tulsi Gabbard holds now. James Clapper says he's afraid that he'll be arrested for his role in the Russian hoax. He's on CNN, of course, a safe space for people like him, talking with Caitlin Collins. Watch.
Accuses me.
When the director says that she's referred these filings to the Justice Department for a criminal investigation, tonight we're told they formed what is called a strike force. Do you have concerns that they will attempt to prosecute you?
Well, certainly I do. After 8.5 years of this, and I don't know of an intelligence that was more scrutinized, more investigated than that product was by numerous people. It's very disconcerting. It really is. And I take seriously when the President of the United States accuses me of being a participant in a treasonous conspiracy, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's your reaction to that?
It's ridiculous. It is untrue.
So what will you do if they cut you? What is your plan?
Well, I'll lawyer up, I suppose. Already have.
You've already hired attorneys in anticipation that this Trump Justice Department could try to prosecute you.
We've had sort of perpetual attorneys since I left the government in 2017.
Yeah, because of course you would, because you're a freaking criminal. But now it's all becoming very, very clear. Here is John Brennan. Now says Tulsi Gabbard is intentionally lying when she exposed him for publishing 3 fraudulent intelligence reports. Nothing like a liar calling someone else a liar. Tulsi Gabbard, listen to this.
Front, certainly. But Tulsi Gabbard, she may be impaired on the ethics front, certainly, but she's not impaired on the intellect front. And so I can only presume that she is doing this intentionally mischaracterizing, misrepresenting, and lying about what she has found. Tulsi Gabbard,
lying about what she's found. Let's check in with Bill O'Reilly, predicting Obama's ex-CIA director John Brennan will be indicted for publishing fraudulent intelligence report. Things just got real. Listen to this, talking with Fredo Cuomo.
Biased. So the Tulsi Gabbard drop of classified information that's now declassified. The headline in there is that John Brennan, former director of the CIA, is in trouble. and I believe he will be indicted. And the telling part of this is that, and this is, I'm quoting from the report from the Select Committee on Intelligence, House Select Committee, is that Brennan knowingly, all right, published 3 reports containing information that was, quote, unclear, of uncertain origin, potentially biased or implausible. If that's true, and we need to give Brennan due process, he's going to be charged.
Well, you also need to prove
So they'll present that evidence in front. They'll present the evidence in front of a grand jury. Now the others, Comey and it's not quite as clear.
Mm-hmm.
So Brennan has the big exposure here. So the Tulsi.
No spin there. Here's President Trump.
Even a little question out. With certainty, I think we knew it before, in all fairness, Tulsi. You have certainty. She has all the documents. She has everything that you need. And she found out that Barack Hussein Obama led a group of people and they cheated in the elections, and they cheated without question. It's not even a quote. Would you say there's even a little question there, Tulsi? She says no. And you found things that nobody thought we'd ever find. And very happy and very honored to have you with us. She's right now, by far, Speaker, she's hotter than you right now, Speaker. Hottest person in the room right now, Speaker. So, Tulsi, great job. And I know you have a lot more coming. She told me you've seen nothing yet. So I heard those rumors about you, but now I know they're true. So we're very proud of you, Tulsi. They cheated so badly, and ultimately it led to a loss in 2020. And it shouldn't have been a loss. It was a big victory. We won by a lot. We had to do it again. But if I thought we lost, I would never have run again. And this is a far more consequential election than it would have been if we did. That's the only thing I can say in favor of it. But we can't ever let that happen to our country. Look at what happened in terms of inflation, in terms of so many things, but most importantly, maybe in terms of allowing millions and millions of people into our country that we shouldn't have.
Thank you, President Trump. And here's what he was talking about. Listen, Tulsi announcing she'll be releasing even more.
Wants us to find this. There are a lot of deep state acts still here within Washington. President Trump wants us to find the truth. I want to find the truth. The American people deserve the truth, and they deserve accountability, which is why I'm really glad to see that Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice announced the creation of a strike force team today, specifically to get after all the intelligence and evidence that we have gathered. We have more coming, and to determine the path forward to bring about that accountability.
Are we hearing from you and from the strike force, because this is information everybody deserves to know. Director, thank you so much.
Let's go, baby. Lock them up. Every single one of them. And throw the clucks from The View in there while you're at it, would you? If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything. 20 federal agents confirming Obama and Brennan fabricated intelligence to take down Trump is not just news. It is the foundation of our republic cracking wide open. Now, these aren't partisan hacks or attention seekers. These are career intelligence officers who've seen enough corruption to risk everything by speaking the truth. When James Clapper lawyers up and admits he's scared, when Tulsi Gabbard uses the word treason, when even establishment Republicans are calling for special prosecutors, you know the dam broken. The deep state thought they could bury this in a CIA vault forever. Well, they were dead freaking wrong. So here's my question for you. Should Obama face the same treatment that Trump got? Raids, indictments, mugshots, perp walks? I think this will be an easy answer for you guys in the comments. I can't wait to read them. It's going to be like Christmas when I open up this video. Yes, drop your answer in the comments. And while you're fired up, check out our next news merch shop, linked below. Show the world you stand with the truth. Because if we don't expose this now, they will do it again.